na kama dharura. Taarifa hii imeandaliwa na Leila Mohamed na kusomwa na Rose Wangoi.
Wingu jeusi limezidi kutanda angani mjini Khartoum, ripoti za mapigano kuzidi kushuhudiwa nchini humo zikiwekwa hadharani. Chama cha madaktari kikisema kwamba mji wa Khartoum hauna umeme, maji safi ya kunywa na chakula, hali ambayo pia inaathiri majukumu ya madaktari kwenye hospitali nyingi mjini humo.
Currently there is a rather loose ceasefire, especially in the capital, but that has not, of course, allowed for instance, the kind of humanitarian help to reach Sudan, in part because the main airport is not accessible. And so it's increasingly difficult to be able to deliver humanitarian aid, either from the region or from the outside. And of course, that is exacerbating the already bad humanitarian situation.
Kwa sasa maelfu ya raia wa kigeni wakiwemo wengi kutoka Kenya wameondoka nchini Sudan, huku wengi wakikashifu hatua za kujivuta kwa mataifa ya Afrika kushughulikia hali hii.
There are two problems that I think plague general African evacuation when it comes to situations of crisis of conflict, for instance. Number one has to do with lack of capacity of many African countries to be able to evacuate citizens at that moment's notice. Two, it also has to do with a lot of times African countries do not anticipate and prepare for eventualities insofar as their citizens are concerned.
Hapa ni hospitali mjini Khartoum, hali ni ya kusikitisha. Mapigano yamekuwepo tangu Alhamisi wiki jana, wengi wakihofia hali ya usalama kuzidi kudorora iwapo makundi yanayozozana hayatashurutisha kukaa chini kujadiliana.
The trajectory that the Sudanese revolution took after the fall of Omar al-Bashir has been very tricky. First, you have the military who stepped in to fill the vacuum. The civilian political groups were not unified in vision on how to manage the transition. So you remember after the fall of Bashir, it took a number of months for the military and civilian leadership to agree on a transition that brought Prime Minister Hamdok.
The cost for Sudan getting peace will require, number one, the international community actively stepping in, and like I was saying, all these external actors in this theater of conflict need to back down. The UAE, Egypt, Haftar in Libya, the Russian Wagner group, all these need to be told to stand down. If they do, there's a possibility that Dagalo and Burhan can be made to see reason. Okay, the threat of sanctions, the threat of ICC, which is still a very viable option, even though al-Bashir has never been taken there. But these are instruments that the international community can use.
Waziri mkuu wa zamani nchini Sudan, Abdallah Hamdok, ameonya kwamba uhasama unaoshuhudiwa huenda ukazua hali mbaya zaidi ya kiusalama katika ukanda.
The international community should have stepped in, should have been in 2021. When Hamdok was thrown out, that is the time the international community should have stepped in and told Burhan and Dagalo, look here, we need concrete steps in how you're going to restore civilian rule. And if pressure had been applied then, they would not have been given an opportunity to entrench themselves to an extent where right now you cannot ignore them.
Blow up did not just drop from the blue sky. It was a result of a build-up that took a number of months after the ousting of President al-Bashir. You remember the coalition of the militaries, these were not precisely the same army providing leadership in order to fill the vacuum after the fall of President al-Bashir. But this was a coalition of different armed groups.
Shirika la Doctors Without Borders linasema kwamba kuna ripoti za wizi kutokea mjini, uharibifu wa mali na wengine kuchoma mali ya watu, hasa wenye kambi za kuasitiri wanaokimbilia usalama.
Kutoka Sudan,